Bleach is an anime known for its crazy battles and characters with even more outrageous powers. With Part 3 of the 1,000-Year Blood War starting and the absolute state of the front lines of both factions, it's the perfect time to rank the strongest captains ready to go this season. A few ground rules before we start. I'll be looking at captains who are still alive at the start of the season, and I'll be restricting it to just the 13 squads. Starting the list at number 10, we have Jin Koma.
What?
Yes, I've seen his fight with Byakuya, but I'll explain my decision in just a bit. Komamura's raw physical strength is incredible, and his bond with his Zanpakuto, Tenkin, allows him to summon giant avatars to mirror his attacks. His Bankai, Kokujo Tengen Myoo, summons a massive armored warrior, multiplying his already incredible power. After receiving the humanization ability, his physical strength is enhanced even further, though it costs him his immortality. Despite his enormous power, his straightforward fighting style leaves him vulnerable to more strategic captains. However, at the end of his most recent fight, and why I've put him at number 10, he turns into a wolf, only for him and his Zanpakuto to be retrieved by his lieutenant. It's very much unclear what his limitations are now, and if he can continue to help out in Part 3. At number 9, we have one of the Vizard captains, Rojuro Rose Otoribashi. Rose's Zanpakuto, Kinshara, takes the form of a whip-like weapon. His Bankai, Kinshara Butodan, uses music-based illusions that can trap and damage enemies by manipulating their senses. Rose's strength lies in the elegance and subtlety of his Bankai's illusions, which can mislead and confuse opponents. However, Rose's Bankai has a major flaw. If his enemy plugs their ears or negates sound, his abilities become practically useless. Keny is another Vizord, boasting great physical strength and combat prowess. His Zanpakuto, Tachikaze, is devastating in close combat, functioning like a combat knife that creates explosions. His Bankai, Tekken Tachikaze, enhances his melee power to insane levels. Though his power is undeniable, Keny struggles against opponents who rely more on skill and cunning rather than brute strength, placing him lower in this list. Soyon is a master of stealth, assassination, and speed. Her Shikai Suzumebachi can kill with 2 strikes to the same spot. However, it's her Bankai, Jakuho Raikoben, that is tricky. It's a massive missile launcher, completely opposite to her otherwise nimble fighting style. While her speed and agility make her a formidable fighter, the limitations and unwieldy nature of her Bankai put her lower in this ranking. The child prodigy Toshiro is a force to be reckoned with. His Ice Zanpakuto, Hyoranmaru, has incredible area of effect abilities, allowing him to control vast landscapes with ice. Hitsugaya is also noted for his potential. After training during the 1,000-Year Blood War, he unlocks a more mature form of his Bankai, drastically boosting his power. Being an elemental type, his abilities have a wide range of applications. However, the double edge is his ice-based attacks can be countered by certain types of enemies, limiting his flexibility. Shinji's ability to invert his opponent's senses with his Shikai Sakanade makes him an incredibly tricky and dangerous fighter. As a former Vicered, he can also use holofication to boost his power. The reveal of his Bankai shows us that it can only be used when there aren't allies nearby, but we don't know what it does yet. While his abilities are largely psychological and extremely difficult to defend against, Shinji ranks lower because his effectiveness relies heavily on whether his opponent can adapt to his unique form of combat. Byakuya's elegance and power are perfectly balanced. His Zanpakuto, Senbonzakura, allows him to control thousands of tiny blade fragments, creating versatile offense and defense simultaneously. His Bankai, Senbonzakura Kageyoshi, enhances this to an overwhelming degree, making him nearly untouchable in battle. Byakuya's refined fighting style and strategic mindset keep him high in the rankings, though he lacks some of the raw, destructive power of the top 3. Before we hit the podium finish, an honorable mention has to go out to Isaine Kotetsu. After Unohana, she takes over as the captain of Squad 4. As the former lieutenant of Squad 4 under Unohana, Isaine is a talented healer and combatant. While not as aggressive as other captains, she excels in healing techniques and has the experience to lead her squad after Unohana's death. Isaine's strength lies in her ability to heal and support others, and while she may not have a revealed Bankai, her role as a captain emphasizes her skill as a vital member of the 13 Court Guard Squad. At number 3, we have the madman himself, Myori. Myori's strength lies in his twisted genius. His Zanpakuto, Ashisogi Jizo, delivers devastating poisons that can paralyze or disorient his opponents. Myori is always several steps ahead in battle, as he modifies himself and his creations to counter almost any opponent. His maniacal inventions and strategies have come in clutch during this battle that it's hard not to call him the GOAT of the Soul Society. His unpredictable and adaptive nature makes him one of the most dangerous captains, but his reliance on gadgets and science, rather than raw power, keeps him from taking the top spot. Kenpachi is pure, unadulterated combat strength. He thrives on battle and becomes stronger the more he fights. Without even knowing his Zanpakuto's name, he was one of the most fearsome captains in the 13 Court Guard squads. When he finally learns Nozarashi's abilities, Kenpachi reaches god-tier levels of strength, becoming an unstoppable force of destruction. His raw power is second to none, but his reckless fighting style and lack of strategy leave room for those who can outthink him. At number 1, taking gold, is Captain of Squad 1, Shunsui Kyoraki. Shunsui is the most well-rounded and deadly of all the captains, combining wisdom, experience, and deadly skills. His Shikai, Katen Kyokotsu, turns children's games into lethal realities. His promotion to Captain Commander after Yamamoto's death shows his power and leadership. His calm demeanor hides a vast amount of spiritual pressure and tactical skill. As the current head captain of the 13 Court Guard squads, Shunsui's mastery of both mind and combat makes him the strongest captain at the start of Part 3 of the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. Who's your selection for a podium finish? Let me know in the comments. And while you're here, check out this video for another anime ranking.